Hello, welcome to the franchise where we talk about the Attack of the Clones. Ooh.
Yes, it's one of the better titles in the Star Wars series.
Part of me likes it. It reminds me, like, when I first heard Fear the Walking Dead. Like, it's it's silly on purpose, like it's trying to be like an EC Comics thing or something. But unfortunately, it's just another fucking Star Wars prequel.
Yeah, and I don't really think it's silly on purpose. I don't get I don't think George Lucas is a very ironic person.
Hey.
So, sorry. Did we say this is episode 81?
No, we didn't. We can. Do you want to say it?
Welcome to the franchise. I'm Henry Papali. This is my co-host Daniel Ehrenberg, and this is episode 81.
That's true, where we talk about Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
But before we get started, I made a major error last week. I would like to just get it over with and correct it so we can move on, which is I did not give a superhero count for The Phantom Menace.
It's true. So what superheroes appeared in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace?
Yeah,
the most important conversation I'll ever have.
Well, it's not that long, but it's long enough. There's an 8 count. But they're all pretty good, so that's the only fun part. There's no real dumb ones.
All right,
so,
Natty Ports is Jane Foster.
All right, yeah, I like
Thor.
when you try to get it. You got it. That's one.
That's
I'm checking
one.
her off.
Okay, who else is in this movie?
All right, well,
you got Ewan McGregor. Is he a superhero in anything?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Liam Neeson. He's got to be, right?
Now, he's in 1, and you could put him in 2, but I don't know if you want to count it. I'm very interested on your take, okay?
All
the
right.
obvious one, which I think our fans would have thought was hilarious if I omitted, because I have a tendency for some reason to omit anyone in a Nolan movie, but it's he's in Batman Begins, of course. He's
Ra's al Ghul, of course. Okay.
And he even shows up in The Dark Knight Rises. Now, that's his count if you don't count a little gem
called Schindler's List.
Well, he's definitely a superhero in that.
Sure.
But a movie from 1990, but it's
Schindler's Fist.
Yeah, that's good.
Thanks.
Enter the Schindler's Fist.
Yeah.
Well,
what was he in? All
right. It's Dark Man.
That counts, sure. Yeah, right. He's Dark Man.
But that I looked and I had thought, you know what? I thought all these years Dark Man was based on a comic book.
No, it's just a Sam Raimi bullshit thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I wrote Dark Man ? So I don't know if that counts or not.
I think it counts. I'm of the mind that superheroes should count even when they're not based on comics, which is why I've been a proponent of things like The Incredibles and Buffy counting.
Well, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to put it before the Galactic Senate, and we're going to take a vote. And if, I know the Gungans are all for your thing.
Boss Nass definitely supports me, but you might have the black vote in Mace Windu.
I have the black vote, and I also might have the Huttese vote. So we'll see.
But I've got that one guy that's just a floating head.
I have the Jawa vote.
Okay.
All right. That's Liam Neeson. We got Sam Jackson, of course.
Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And he's the octopus in The Spirit.
Oh, Henry, I forgot that movie existed.
Aren't I something?
Yeah, the octopus.
It took me about 55 minutes, by the by, to get this list together, going through that whole fucking cast.
Well, the 0 people who complained about no superhero count on this movie, thank you.
All right, are you sure? So it's over. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore.
No, people complain all the time, but I didn't hear. Maybe the holidays. People don't give a shit. Okay.
Oh, you mean they complain if I what? If I mess it up?
If you mess it up, they complain, but if you don't do it, they don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me. This has been a fucking albatross that I created.
Yeah. All right. Who else is in these movies?
All right. Here, I'll just go through this. Ray Park, of course.
Oh, the Toad from X-Men. Sure.
Got it. The voice of Darth Maul, Peter Serafinowicz.
He's the Tick.
No, I didn't count. That's correct, but I didn't count that. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy playing some alien.
Okay, but much more importantly, he's the Tick.
Yeah, I know. The Ticks are like a comedic. I mean, what are we counting? Space Ghost too now as a superhero?
Yes. Well, the Tick is based on a comic book, dude.
All right, I'm gonna write it in there.
Thank you.
For no reason, I'm never gonna look at this page of notes ever again. But I'm writing it in there. Okay, Terrence Stamp, of course.
Zod.
Zod in Superman 1 and 2.
And nobody in episodes 2 and 3 because he couldn't be bothered coming back.
Smallville, he played Jor-El, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, he's good.
He was in Elektra as a Stick.
That's right, yeah. He's a good Stick, too. I mean, that movie's garbage, but he's
a
good element of it.
I told you, these are all good ones. They're all like live-action movies.
Yeah, major characters.
Yeah, and Dominic West played a palace guard.
We didn't even notice him.
I didn't notice him at all. McNulty. He, of course,
and he's Jigsaw in Punisher Warzone. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. And finally, last but not least, the great British actor Ralph Brown. You might remember him as 88 from Alien 3, the great Alien 3.
Who is he in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace? That's what I want to know.
He's Rick Ola. He's the pilot for the Queen, the Air Force. He's in it quite a lot. If you could, picturing his face, do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
He's in it a lot. He's just flying around like anytime anyone needs a ride from planet to planet, he's
just fucking shuttling people around the boo.
Yeah, exactly. And he was in Agent Carter as Dr. Fenhoff and Ivchenko, which must be it's like a double character. It must be a bad guy of some sort.
Maybe I don't recall.
Do you know the actor I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. That's it.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about them clones attacking.
Let's do it. I am very excited about this because well, first before we usually do you want to do your experience with this movie and first, and then do stats, or what would you like?
Yeah, I mean, this.
What's your memory of this, or have you seen it a bunch, or what? What do you?
I've seen it about as much as I've seen Phantom Menace, which is to say, quite a lot in high school, and not much since. I did see this at midnight.
Okay.
When it came out, so the night of May 15th, 2002, because it came out on the 16th. And this was the first Star Wars movie I can recall not liking the first time I saw it. Because I convinced myself I liked Phantom Menace.
Right.
And when I saw Revenge of the Sith originally, I considered it a real return to form.
Yeah.
So this is the only Star Wars movie that I saw in theaters and didn't like. That being said, there were things I liked about it quite a lot at the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I thought Yoda's fight with Dooku at the end was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This was your opinion at the time.
At the time, I can't stress that enough.
No. Well, that's the point, because that's really the point. Okay. So, is that like it, or did you? Well, because we don't want to get too much into the movie, so like a basic outline of your feeling at the time was you didn't like it.
I was intensely excited about it because, as any fan of Star Wars, this movie is about the sort of Franz Ferdinand being murdered of the Clone Wars. which is something that was mentioned in A New Hope way back in '77, and I always wanted to know what the fuck the Clone Wars were. And so this was, when Lucas announced the prequels, there were very few things that I knew I wanted out of them, and one of them was to learn about the Clone Wars. Now, it's weird that we see the beginning of them here and the end of them in the next one. And if you actually want to see the Clone Wars, you have to watch a cartoon. But that's besides the point.
Which we'll be covering.
Well, we'll be covering the movie. We're not covering the fucking 6 seasons or whatever. Of
No, but I mean, you want to cover even that movie.
Because it came out in theaters.
Yeah.
I didn't want to necessarily, but I got called out on Twitter. It's a theatrical release.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We love our fans.
Thanks.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I checked the running time. It's like 95 minutes.
Good. Because I think it was originally just supposed to be a 2-hour pilot of a show.
I'm glad they released it theatrically and made it shorter.
Yes. Well, it's shorter because no commercials.
Right.
All right. So that's my take on Attack of the Clones. I was pumped up for it.
All right. Well, here's my take on it. Okay, because at the time, I had what I call my Lord of the Rings syndrome, where I saw the first movie, The Phantom Menace, despised it, and then decided to go see the second movie again in the theater, like a drone or a droid or a clone. So I remember seeing Attack of the Clones and hearing from a lot of people, a lot of friends, that it's so much better. It's so much better than Phantom Menace. It's the worlds depart. It's totally different.
It's darker. That's what everyone said. It's so much darker.
Yeah. So I went to see it, and I fucking hated it. I hated it so much. I hated it more than Phantom Menace at the time. Now, at the time, 3 years had elapsed. I had never seen Phantom Menace again. But 2002, I hated it so much. I hated everything about it. And so...
You sound like Roger Ebert talking about North, am I right?
That's right. That's a good call. Yeah. So anyway, and I never saw it again. So this movie, for me, I saw it 15 years ago, never once watched it again, and for these 15 years, Phantom Menace and Clones, and I'm not going to reveal anything, but I could say Phantom Menace and Clones were the two worst Star Wars, hands down, but Clones was worse. That's the worst Star Wars movie ever made, is what I said for 15 years.
Okay.
That's where I'll leave you until we get into the movie.
Okay, so let's get into the stats. Attack of the Clones, directed once more by George Lucas. Mm-hmm. He brought in a co-writer this time, an absolute fucking nobody named Jonathan Hales. I mean, why even bother?
Because he worked on the Indiana Jones TV show.
Great. I mean, what?
And Dallas.
Yeah, he was a staff writer on Dallas. I mean, just bring in like the guys that made Howard the Duck if you're gonna do that.
That would have been cool. Yeah. Right.
Released May 16th, 2002. A budget of $115 million. Box office of 649. A
little dyslexia there.
Yeah, $0.4 million. I mean, that's a massive drop from the first.
It really is.
Phantom Menace made $1 billion, you might recall.
And the budgets were similar for both, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that is a massive drop.
I mean, this is the kind of drop that today might put the making of a third one in jeopardy.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's right. That's right.
I mean, it's like Divergent. I mean, it's what people are talking about now. Like the DCU, the modern DC universe is in some jeopardy because Justice League has not done well.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And I say throw it to the fucking wolves.
With the DC universe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Let Gal Gadot stay on and fire
Yeah,
everybody
right.
else.
Just keep making Wonder Woman movies.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they're just not, yeah. But anyway.
All right. What?
Oh, nothing. I was going to say, do you have your top 10 from 2002? Because mine's in the other room. So,
what is wrong with you?
yeah, I can, you want to have a second of Daniel talking?
Sure, why not?
All right. I'll be right back.
All right, listen, here's some stats. There's the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2002. I feel like we've done this before, so I don't need to play a game. It's number 10, Chicago. You got Zeta Jones vamping around. Number 9, you got Ice Age. It's, hey, Deborah, I'm a woolly mammoth. Then number 8, you got Man in Black 2. There's, Lara Flynn Boyle in lingerie. Number 7, Austin Powers and Goldmember, one of the worst movies we've covered on this podcast. Number 6, you got Signs, Swing Away.
That's right, you do. I'm back.
All right. Number 5, I hope you have some Windex because it's my big fat Greek wedding. Number 4, it's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the worst of the Harry Potter movies. If you want to hear me talk about that movie, listen to my episode of The Real Weird Sisters. Number 3, you got Attack of the Clones. It's the first Star Wars movie not to be number 1 for the year. Number 2, Lord of the Rings. What would this be? Two Towers? Yeah. Two Towers. Lord of the Rings 9/11 edition. Number 1 is Spider-Man, directed by the guy that made Darkman. And Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones was nominated for 1 Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, which it lost to The Two Towers.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? This pains me to say.
You missed my Ray Romano impression, Henry.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't even it's okay. Because of my malfeasance, we missed me guessing the top 10 of 2002, but we've done that many times.
Exactly.
Correct?
That's why I felt fine about it.
Yeah, I did miss your Ray Romano, but I was going to say, no, it pains me to say that the Two Towers, the special effects are better, so that yeah.
Oh, tons better.
Yeah, worlds better.
You want to hear my impression of the visual effects in Attack of the Clones?
Well, the Phantom Menace was horrible too with the effects. So yeah, go ahead.
All Attack of the Clones is pew 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 pew.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of pewing.
Yeah.
There's so many pews you could build a Catholic church.
Good night, everybody. I'm Dennis Miller, and you're
Take
not.
my wife, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I went to the Catskills for Christmas, and I just got home, so I got that in my blood right now.
All right. Well, you'll be loving on our holiday episode that we're recording later today, Harvey Korman. All right. We've done this list a bunch of times. What's your top 10 movies of 2002, Henry?
Don't bring up Harvey Korman until we absolutely have to.
Okay.
All right, 2002, number 10, the auteuristic Red Dragon.
Oh, developed by noted rapist and racist Brett Ratner.
Yeah, and it's not auteurist. Yes.
No, my number 10 is Spider-Man.
That's my number 9.
My number 9 is The Rules of Attraction.
Great movie. My number 8 is Panic Room. That should be higher.
It's not on my list, stupidly. My number 8 is Bowling for Columbine.
Should be higher. My number 7 is Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
My number 7 by noted pedophile and notified pedophile, The Pianist. Starring Vladislav Spielman. Protect your neck. Protect your neck.
Okay, my number 6 is 28 Days Later.
My number 6 is Punch Drunk Love.
My number 5 movie is Bowling for Columbine.
My number 5 is Confessions of a Dangerous Mind by Mr. George Clooney.
All right.
Yeah.
My
the
number
director
4.
of such classics as Suburbicon, and The Monuments Men.
Man. Oh,
His career's gone well lately.
Well, you're not kidding, man.
Yeah.
Because he can direct a movie.
Yeah. Spoilers for my 2005 list.
Yeah, oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, me too. All right. Number 4, Signs.
My number 4 is Adaptation.
My number 3 is About Schmidt.
Mine too.
My number 2 is Gangs of New York.
My number 2 is Far From Heaven, The Adventures of Yellow Dog. No, just Far From Heaven.
Oh, Far From Heaven, Adventures of Yellow Dog, one of the most controversial yet beautifully looking CinemaScope movies ever made.
It's true. It's true.
Very retro. And the number 1 movie of 2002 is 25th Hour.
It is. It certainly is.
Our lists are quite different, but I'm not particularly happy with a few of my choices. So then you had a few on there that I would actually put on mine.
Swip?
Swip. Right.
Panic Room should be on mine for sure.
Yeah, and you had a couple that I would like on mine, and I would easily take some of mine off. But anyway, but the number 1 movie of 2002 is so easily and never going to change. 25th Hour.
25th Hour. So happy Spike on the back on the top right now. Top of his game. She's Gotta Have It. His Netflix series was absolutely great, and he's got a new movie coming out this year that I can't fucking wait for, called Black Klansman.
Ooh.
Yep.
Right.
Based on the true story of a black police officer who infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan, starring Denzel Washington's son.
Wow.
Yeah. And produced by Jordan Peele. I can't fucking wait.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's some powerhouse stuff there.
Boom.
Wow. And folks, if you don't, if you haven't, I'm sure our devoted fans, as you've heard, are talking about 25th Hour before. But if you still haven't seen 25th Hour, please go buy it or rent it or something, please.
Yeah, Edward Norton.
It's one of the.
Great one of his best performances
ever. One of Philip Seymour Hoffman's best performances ever, and it's one of Spike Lee's greatest films, and that's saying something for that guy.
It really is. Yeah, it's in his top 5 joints.
I guess I'm saying it because you're never going to hear it from anyone else. There's no way you will.
It's not talked about nearly enough.
Not at all.
And an amazing sort of early reaction to 9/11 from a New Yorker.
I think it's one of my favorite New York movies.
Agreed.
Period.
New York is shot fucking incredibly. Everyone's so good. The smaller cast members, Anna Paquin's really
Barry
good.
Pepper.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson. And it's one of my favorite New York movies ever, and it's actually my favorite movie about the subject of 9/11. Period. I just think it's just a beautiful film.
It's my favorite too. United 93 maybe a close second, but
that's a great movie too.
Yeah.
But in terms of New York and 9/11, and New York in general.
What about Nicolas Cage as a firefighter?
Yeah, well that's number 3.
What about that new? Oh my God, I can't fucking wait for this movie. 9/11. Have you heard about this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I don't think so.
It's a new movie coming to Netflix soon. It's called 9/11. It takes place on 9/11 and starring Charlie Sheen.
Takes place on 9/11 of what year?
2001.
Oh, 2001.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen in a dramatic role.
He's still kicking, huh?
Fuck yeah, kicking ass, taking names.
Eye of the Tiger. All right, I didn't know about that. Okay, all right. So that's 20th hour. That's 2002.
Hey, we'll be talking about Ed Norton later today. In his incarnation as Art Carney.
What? Oh. Stop saying later today. It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Whatever. Both these fucking episodes are going to be in their feeds at the same time.
Yeah. No, we're doing the holiday episode on Life Day. We're not.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah, Jesus.
Happy Life Day.
Happy Life.
All right. So this movie starts. It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Feel the stars. And then
fucking you and their field of stars.
You pan.
No, it takes that place 10 years later. That's my first note.
Is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's stated briefly.
So is Anakin 18 in this movie?
He must be. That's
how old is Portman? Like 28?
Oh man, I don't know. I think she's only supposed to be like 6 or 7 years older than him. So I never figured that shit.
That's fucking creepy. Like, I don't even like the idea. Like, I remember when I was 25, Henry.
Yeah.
I hooked up with an 18-year-old. And I felt fucking weird about it.
Yeah. But it's a reverse thing, too, right? I mean, it's like...
getting married at the end of this fucking movie.
Older woman with a younger guy who's an adult, so... Yeah. Maybe there's a little
fucking Mary Kay Letourneau. The
double standard. Wow, how the fuck did you pull that name out? I mean, I don't even get that. So
I'm very attracted to those types of news stories.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah,
I know you are to die for. The only reason I know it's 10 years later is it's that some character says something like that 10 years ago, or I don't know. And then, of course, Wikipedia says it, so that's great confirmation.
You mean Wikipedia?
Yeah. It's still very jar-jarring when you do that.
No. No, that's really what the Star Wars Wikipedia is called.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, while we're just setting up the plot, and we might as well just jump in there, I had no memory, really, of this movie. All I remembered was the final, 2 hours of the movie was taking place in a gladiatorial arena with
George Lucas is like, hey, I enjoyed Gladiator. What if it was in space?
Right. But I thought...
I have no Spielberg conversation for this one, by the way.
You couldn't find anything?
No, but I have one for Sith, don't worry.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, interesting. But I was convinced when I was watching it. I was like, "That's right." Do you know you have like a false memory of something that you've convinced yourself of? I was like, "Oh, that's right." I remember reading that the backlash against Jar Jar was so bad that you never see him again.
You see him a few times.
So what happens is I'm watching this movie, okay, and you see him sort of in a meeting with other people, and he's kind of in the background, and I thought, oh, that's just they threw a Gungan in there.
No, it's Jar Jar, and he's in the fucking Galactic Senate.
Let me finish. I'm not done.
All right, sorry.
We're not there yet. Because I got other stuff on him.
Okay.
I'm talking about my visceral in the moment experience. So I see a Gungan, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's not Jar Jar, so that's cool. Cut to less than 5 minutes later. And how the great tracking shots of Stanley Kubrick, of course. Okay.
Sure. Orson Welles, Touch of Evil.
Touch of Evil. The Shining.
Sure.
Clockwork Orange. So, cut to 5 minutes later, and all of a sudden, there's a tracking shot of Jar Jar Binks exiting a room and just bumbling towards a hallway, walking down the hallway, flopping around, and I go, my heart sort of kind of skipped a little bit, and then I went, oh no, that's not. Is he going to be like in a that? Maybe that is Jar Jar. They wouldn't just focus on a random Gungan. And then he spoke, and it's Jar Jar.
It's Jar Jar. Listen,
he got a whole panning shot.
You gotta feel lucky though, because like. If this movie was made with without taking into consideration any fan reaction to Phantom Menace, Jar Jar would be in this whole fucking movie, man. Like he'd be in that fucking arena at the end. So like,
oh, I wish he would have been.
Take what you can get. But yeah, he walks up to Anakin Skywalker, who he hasn't seen in like 10 years.
But how about that tracking shot? Isn't
it's
it
amazing.
Gorgeous?
It's beautiful.
It's really gorgeous.
It's like the beginning of that one episode of True Detective. Or, no, it's the end of that episode, right?
Right, it reminded me of that.
Yeah. And so he walks up to Ewan McGregor and new cast member Hayden Christensen, and, you know, he's like, nice to see you, Annie. And
I'm sorry, you know what? I'm picturing the sequence, and I'm laughing. I can't, okay. I gotta get past it. Yeah. All right.
And Hayden Christensen's like, nice to see you too, Jar Jar. I over-enunciate everything, and I'm super fucking bummed all the time.
Yeah. You went right to it. It's my second note, and I didn't remember this. I'm being totally honest here, as I always am on this show, totally candid about my opinions. I did not remember that. I don't remember thinking Hayden Christensen was bad.
Henry, George Lucas has no eye for talent whatsoever. This Hayden Christensen is worse than Jake Lloyd.
He is awful.
He's abominable.
My second note after 10 years later reads, Hayden Christensen is awful, just awful, terrible diction. That's a note I actually wrote. Terrible diction. Yeah.
He's
and it was the first thing you pointed out.
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. Nothing sounds remotely natural, and I know everyone's delivering a bad performance in this movie, but like you put Hayden Christensen in a scene with Natalie Portman, and you're like, at least she's delivering this fucking garbage dialogue like a professional.
I mean, I wasn't prepared for that. That really surprised me because I just didn't remember that being one of the reasons that I hated it so much.
I felt like I was watching a fucking high school production of Give My Regards to Broadway.
Yeah. He's learning, yes, master. Yes, master. But master.
Yeah. But Obi-Wan, I'm ready. Obi-Wan. Master Kenobi.
Oh, I would have rather he spoke like that. You're giving him too much, like, casual
personality.
Dudeness.
I'm giving him too much
personality. Yeah, you're giving him, like, John Cryer in Superman 4.
Which I love.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not... I could use a chaw in this.
Me too.
That would help.
Me too.
Chaw,
right.
Esther. Chaw.
Henry. Well, let me get into character.
All right.
This is how I get into character. Henry. I don't like sand. It's coarse and grainy and dirty. I don't like the way it feels when I sit in it. It's boring. I don't like the color. It's ugly and, I don't like it. It sucks. I hate sand. But you know what I do like? Your skin. It's soft and smooth. And I like to touch it. It's a much better feel. It's a much better feel than sand. I prefer your skin to sand. Like if I had to choose between your skin and sand, I would choose your skin over sand.
Obi-Wan, excuse me. Word with you, may I please, if have. This Padawan that thou teachest want to
very dumb. Should be only reason, not teach him. Talks of sand at length, even Yoda. Pontificate I much. Become very bored with...
Yoda, can I just explain myself for a quick second?
Yes, young one.
I think you'll find this to be a salient point. Okay?
Young one, salient is not word you use.
You'll find this, I think it's a good, important point.
Continue as you will.
What I'm trying to say is, like, were I to touch Padme's skin, right? And then run my hand through some sand. When I touch Padme's skin, that would feel nice.
God damn it, this is Mace Windu, motherfucker. You ain't gonna teach you'll touch your hands on shit, and you ain't gonna be approved.
Wait.
You ain't gonna be approved by this Jedi Council.
Master
Get your ass out of
Master
here.
Windu.
Yeah, you better call me Master
Windu. Were I to feel sand, it wouldn't feel good.
How the fuck am I supposed to know how sand gonna feel?
It doesn't feel good. I don't like it. But then, when I touch Padme's skin, that feels great.
Master Anakin, this is Obi-Wan. Please come with me. You're embarrassing yourself in front of the entire Jedi Council.
Guys, I don't think you get what I'm trying to say here. Padme's skin.
Concluded is this meeting.
It's better than sand.
Kill you with lightsaber, will I?
And scene.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty good exchange, I think, of how they probably really felt. Don't you think? You know,
Samuel L. Jackson's performance seemed a little stereotypical, but
he was mad at this, and why do they have to even put up with this? And,
sure.
And then Ben Kenobi came in and was like, "All right, let's just get out of here. This is not going well."
Right. So,
I can't even begin to tell you the story. By the way,
I can. Okay.
Yeah, because I tried to follow it, and I think I got it, but I just
Okay, so they split up. There's attempts. I don't even remember. So Padme's gotta hide. So Anakin goes off as her bodyguard, but Anakin's 18 now and looking super fuckable with his rat tail and his baby head. He's got an Andrew Garfield baby head.
I wouldn't go that far. Nobody's got Andrew Garfield.
By the way, if you look at the list of actors, this is a huge movie. George Lucas could have had almost anybody play Anakin Skywalker. Can you imagine what Ryan Gosling would have done with this role in 2002?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. So who else was up, just really quick? Because I don't remember. I did look at that, but I can't remember at all.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, you would have hated that, but that would have
been better.
That would have been great.
Every young... I heard, Ryan Phillippe was in the running for this role.
Oh, he would have been good.
He would have been fine. All the young actors at the time. Probably Josh Hartnett was in the running. But he went with Hayden Christensen. And, this fucking guy. So he's off watching Padme. Meanwhile, there's another storyline where Obi-Wan finds a location missing in the archives of the Galactic Senate, and so he goes off to try and find this missing location.
And he actually goes to a library, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was fine.
I'm actually being serious. I started saying that as a joke, and then as it came out of my mouth, I was like, that actually was kind of cool. He would go to a library if they existed then, right?
You mean back then, a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore.
No. Hey, they do. There's a library in walking distance from me.
That's how you know this is actually a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
But what did you think, by the way, of the like visuals and the planets and that city planet and all that chase stuff in the beginning?
Oh, right. Yeah, at the very beginning, I kind of like the tone of the scene where Padme's sleeping and those little wormy guys crawling.
Yeah, it's not bad. And R2-D2, by the way, as usual, delivering strong performance.
Delightful.
He's always without fail.
But that whole chase is fucking ridiculous.
It looks very, very fucking fake. And I remember thinking that at the time, too, okay? So this isn't 15 years.
It's stupid. It just looks like the Fifth Element. And it's totally just insane. Like, anytime someone falls out of a car, like another car is underneath and he lands there.
And as usual, most
it goes
cases,
on forever.
Oh, man alive. Yeah.
And so they finally crash. You know, Obi-Wan says, of course, "Why do I get the feeling that you'll be the death of me?" Which is very funny because eventually Darth Vader kills him. Had me rolling in the aisle.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah. Okay.
So
I liked when he went to the bar.
Sure, he goes to a fun club.
He told that guy, "You will rethink your life."
Yeah, he goes to a bar that looks like the Bronze from Buffy, and this guy tries to sell him death sticks.
Yeah,
which
subtle.
are space cigarettes.
Subtle.
And and Obi-Wan doesn't buy any because they're bad for you, and this is a movie for kids.
Well, this one is.
But it's so dark. Listen.
No, we're not at that. We're not at the dark one yet.
No, there's a
I can't wait.
But this movie's sexy, Henry, because this movie, as Lucas liked to say at the time, it's a love story. It's all about Anakin and Padme falling in love.
Yeah, but it can't be because I made a note.
And they fuck next to a roaring fire on a bearskin rug at one point.
Just like in Superman 2 at Niagara Falls.
That's true.
But it can't be a love story, Dan, because I wrote the romantic stuff in this movie is fucking shit. So I don't get what
Henry,
you're talking
you're
about.
You're ridiculous. The chemistry is scorching me between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. I particularly like the scene where first they have a picnic and they have a nice, banter, a nice conversation where Anakin tells Padme that, the galaxy would be better off with an evil dictator in charge. And Padme just laughs that off. Oh, Anakin.
Right.
And
it's a weirdly played scene, too. It's a weirdly written scene, obviously, because it's not well written. But
what are you talking about?
Weird.
Jonathan Hales rewrote it. It's got to be good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The guy from Dallas.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I saw Texas Oil in the background. It's weirdly written because he says that, and that could be like a great line. If delivered by a good actor.
I like the part in this movie when Qui-Gon Jinn turns around in the shower, and you realize at the end of Phantom Menace was just a dream.
I don't care. My point wasn't even that. It didn't even matter. The scene could have had some potency. It had none.
So they have a picnic and then they go riding around on little pieces of duty in a field.
Yes, an animal that looks like a heap of dinosaur dung from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And Anakin riding this is about as effective as Kermit the Frog riding a bicycle.
It's crazy looking, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, here's what kills the movie besides the bad dialogue, characters, special effects, and acting.
Characters? What about all the great new characters in this movie?
Wait.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, but these visuals, man, this is what didn't. So one thing changed for me. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there because I don't want to belabor the point. Okay, it's better than I remember. It's not the worst Star Wars movie ever made. There are actually a few cool visuals in it. There's mainly adults besides Hayden Christensen. It's not as bad as I thought it was. I want to get that over with right there. I'm saying it right now. Okay. So I was wrong. It is not as horrific as I recall.
It's the worst Star Wars movie.
Now have you always? You said you always said that.
No, I used to think Phantom Menace was the worst.
Oh, wow. So watching this, you think this is worse than Phantom Menace.
Here's why.
No way for me. That's a hard no way for me.
Here's why.
And I really changed.
Phantom Menace is bad in funny, interesting ways. Mm-hmm. It's like if Tommy Wiseau made a big-budget Star Wars movie. That it's so impossibly bad and silly, and it's just pure George Lucas on the screen.
Yeah.
In trying to adhere to the wishes of Star Wars fans who didn't like Phantom Menace, but still being a terrible filmmaker in his old age, what George Lucas has made in Attack of the Clones is a fucking bore.
Yeah, well, it is a bore. I agree.
It's longer than Phantom Menace.
It's really long. I don't know. I don't know how much longer it is, but
it really long? It feels long. It's.
I don't think it is.
It feels longer.
It feels really long.
It's fucking boring, and there's nobody. Listen.
All right, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
The last movie, remember, I said Qui-Gon Jinn. You got Liam Neeson. Darth Maul is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I liked the pod race. The Duel of the Fates is all right. This fucking movie, it has nothing. There's just nothing I like. Right. There's nothing I like in this entire movie.
Here's what I'm going to say.
The new characters are worse than the last movie.
I'll
take Jar Jar over Dex, the diner owner. Listen.
I can't defend that.
I'll take Qui-Gon Jinn over fucking, Jango Fett. I'll take Darth Maul over Count Dooku.
Yeah, it's funny. I can't argue with any of that, but Christopher Lee is in the movie. Jango Fett.
Christopher Lee is in the movie. That's about the best he can say for that performance.
Right. No, it's true. And I remember, too, and this is very ironic, I remember at the time, and this was a correct thought. This was a correct thought, a correct opinion. I remember seeing this and going, wait a minute. Wasn't he in Lord of the Rings?
Yep, and trying.
And so I was like, I got very confused at the time because these all came out Attack of the Clones did. It came out at the same time as all three fucking Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah. So I remember being very confused and being like, wait a minute, I don't understand. So he's a very similar bad guy in both of these massive what a weird choice. But this time, since I haven't watched Lord of the Rings in fucking forever and won't until we cover it in 2027, I didn't mind Christopher Lee, and he was kind of refreshing. So I didn't mind him that much in here. It's just, you know what it is, man? The movie just isn't as bad as I remember it being, and I think that
it's boring. It's just nothing. Like
I agree.
Listen.
I would rather watch
this
again.
Better movie than Phantom Menace? Maybe, but I'd certainly rather rewatch Phantom Menace. I'll rewatch Phantom Menace. I'll get here. This is great.
Go ahead.
It's for the same reason I like Batman and Robin more than Batman Forever. Because Batman Forever is a fucking bore. And Batman and Robin is bad in interesting, funny ways. You could watch it in a group and rip on it. If I was still drinking, I could have a drinking game with it. Fucking, this Attack of the Clones is just, it's terrible. It's it's as bad as Phantom Menace, but with nothing of interest going on.
No, all right. I will never watch Phantom Menace ever again. I will never watch it again. I don't think I will ever watch this again, ever. But if I had to, I would watch this again over Phantom Menace.
I wouldn't.
No.
No way.
You get Anakin getting his arm chopped off. That's a high point.
Shit.
I didn't, but it was a high point of the movie. I liked the rain planet. I thought that was a good visual.
Yeah, there's a couple of film noir-y moments in this movie, like George Lucas had recently watched Blade Runner or something.
Yeah, right.
Even the city they're in at the beginning is I compared it to The Fifth Element, but it's actually more Blade Runner-y.
If it a shitty looking.
Yeah. Well, everything's shitty looking. I don't have to say that.
Right. Oh, by the way, want to point out it's in my notes. So, fucking Joel Edgerton's in this movie.
Listen, I'll talk about Joel Edgerton more in episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, because it's very weird that in 2005 George Lucas chose the last shot in his prequel trilogy to be a close-up of Joel Edgerton.
Okay, well I didn't. He's in this more, so I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know if we were gonna ever.
He's Uncle Owen.
Right, so I didn't know if we'd get to that, so that's fine. You get Anakin killing those sand people.
Yeah, you mean swing his lightsaber and then we cut away.
I agree. I thought another false memory. I thought he slaughtered them all and that didn't happen.
So what happens there is the Force tells him that his mother Shmi, who he hasn't seen in 10 years, has been kidnapped by the Sand People. So he goes to Tatooine and meets his Shmi's new husband, whose kids are Owen and Beru, I guess, or whatever the fuck. And, he's a nice man in a space wheelchair.
Yeah, his name's Klieg Lars.
Great name. And so
he's in my superhero count.
Okay, we'll get there. He goes to find Shmi, who he finds her in one of those sand igloos, and then she's dying, but she has it much like Yoda in Return of the Jedi. She has just enough time to talk at Anakin forever.
Absolutely.
And then when she dies, her head snaps back hilariously.
I was too busy focusing on his acting.
This is something
on that scene.
Yeah, he's just seething, teeth. He's doing clenched teeth act.
Well, I mean, his mother. God knows what these sand people are capable of. I don't know what they do to people. But
if you think gang rape, you're correct.
I wasn't, but okay, sure. So Hayden. I mean, that's all I was focusing on. But go ahead.
No, this is something I remember from seeing the movie at midnight, Henry. Shmi's head snapped back when she dies so suddenly that the whole audience, even people that were into the movie, laughed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't even remember. I didn't even notice.
It is so funny. And I forgot about that moment, and it made me laugh out loud again watching it this time.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. But before we forget, we've got to talk about three things. I mean, because then I'm pretty much done with this movie. But we got to talk.
So much more to talk about.
But the only reason is because I want to get to Sith.
Me too.
But that's okay.
I can run through some things quickly.
Well, can I just name the three things I want to just touch on? Because they're probably things you want to touch on. But all I care about mentioning is, obviously, I want to talk about the gladiator scene. The 45 minutes. I clocked it.
It's
40.
just Space Gladiator. That's all it is.
Okay. All right, hang on. The Yoda fight, or does he fight Dooku in this one? I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
Okay.
They fight.
And we should probably explain just if there's a human listening who doesn't know the plot, what these clones are and who they're cloned from.
They're cloned from Jango Fett,
which I didn't remember at all.
and we meet his son Boba Fett, who it turns out is a young clone of Jango Fett.
Never knew that. Don't remember it. Like I never saw it. Yep.
Because we need to do more Star Wars babies in this movie. Like we did in the last movie. So we get to see baby Boba Fett.
Baby Boba.
And when Jango dies, he puts his head to that helmet. Like, one day I will wear this stupid outfit.
Jango dies with quite little fanfare. If
who cares? Also, they picked the least charismatic actor imaginable for this role.
Yeah, he doesn't bring much.
Tamara Morrison.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't bring much to the table, but doesn't he get? Am I wrong? He gets like decapitated by a Jedi, right? In the arena. Is that how he dies? Yeah. Okay. All right.
During the opening cries of the Clone War. So yeah, the Dooku has ordered a droid or a clone army for the Republic. That's one thing I forgot. I forgot that the clones are on the good side.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Also, I kept
But this is part of the whole thing where Palpatine is still working for the good side, but
it's like right. It's like a double, triple, quadruple cross, and then it gets even more complicated in the third movie, and
it's less complicated in the third movie. I think the story in the third movie is at least clear. The second movie is very muddled.
You're right. But the whole thing about what's bad is not only obviously the writing, but the editing is bad because the clones are humans, but there's a lot of droid bad guys too. So my mind automatically goes to the clones are the droids, and the movie's called Attack of the Clones.
I think I thought that the first time I watched this movie.
Yeah, and so it was like, wait a minute. So the movie's called Star Wars Attack of the Clones, but the clones are good guys.
Yeah, the clones are attacking bad guys.
What a weird what thing to call your movie.
It should be called Rise of the Clones. Or know what? Just call it something not stupid.
Don't call it clones. Like something that wouldn't make Ewan McGregor laugh in a red carpet line.
Yeah. Call it the mystery of whatever planet is.
The rise of the Kid Vader. Rise of Kid Vader.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever. Who cares?
Leave clones out of it.
Okay, so...
Well, that gladiatory scene is just it's abominable.
You know what the saving grace for me in that scene was? Because I saw... Okay, so how old was I when this movie came out?
You would have been... You're asking me because I'm good with this stuff. You would have been 16? 15?
Yeah, okay. So listen to this.
Yeah, I was 24.
I had sense memory of getting a boner as a teenager. So, the second the gladiator thing starts, Padme shows up in this white shirt. And I'm like, at some point during this fight, her navel gets exposed.
Oh, does it? And it does, right? You see her midriff.
And it fucking does. Yeah, her shirt gets ripped perfectly right below the boobs.
Yeah.
And then Natalie Portman's midriff is just exposed for the rest of this movie. And still enjoyed it.
Natalie the Portman midriff. The Portman midriff.
MVP.
It is the highlight of the movie. No. Yes, it is actually the highlight of the movie. But no, I do have an MVP of the movie. I really do.
Wait,
actually.
I'm not there yet, man. I've got so
No,
much
no,
more
I
to
know,
talk
go ahead.
about.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
How about some new characters? We
Go
talked about Dooku enough, I guess, but
Well, he's essentially just a fucking sorcerer that talks like Christopher Lee in all 100,000 of his movies that he's ever been in. And I know because I fucking looked at all of them to see if he ever showed up in a superhero movie. Oh my god.
so at one point, Obi-Wan goes to visit a diner, a space diner.
That entire sequence reminded me of Back to the Future. I couldn't help it.
When we meet his friend, an alien named Dex, who is it is Biffy. He's a diner chef with a
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, what can I get yous? Everybody in the diner has like an accent from somewhere in northeastern.
It's true.
United
it's just
States.
like I mean, did this Jonathan
little...
Hales also write for Alice?
Right, and Maude.
Yeah,
he's a Norman Lear contributor.
Speaking of Maude, we'll be talking about her a little later.
Yes, we will. Oh, go ahead. This fucking lizard in a fucking wife beater and a diaper behind it.
He has a very itchy butt. Keep scratching that butt.
Oh, don't say itchy.
Oh, we'll be talking about him later too.
Please don't say itchy.
How about the part at the end in that factory where we get to see R2-D2 flying around?
Yeah, all right.
It's a droid factory.
I remember not liking that originally because I don't like my R2-D2 like flying around like that. I like him like kind of immobile and just, it didn't bother me as much, but it still bothered me.
No, I'm too busy being bothered by what's going on with C-3PO during that sequence.
Oh, let's go. Oh God!
So he gets mixed up on the line there with on the factory line, which is building battle droids. So C-3PO's body gets a battle droid head, and C-3PO's head is put on a battle droid's body. So during that scene, he has all the best lines. At one point, he's getting dragged around on the ground, and C-3PO says, "This is such a drag." And then at one point, his head gets put right next to his body, and he says, "I'm beside myself." It's all very, very funny.
I have a serious question for you. Okay? Very serious question. Are there any good jokes in the movie?
Hayden Christensen.
Good answer. Yeah, okay. Just checking. I'm just checking because remember we said that the Star Wars and Empire are deliberately very funny movies and have all those kind of wisecracks and what happened? I mean, what happened? Lucas he must have written some of those funny jokes in the original and in Empire.
Listen, he's an old man now. Sometimes
he can't write whips.
Sometimes people just forget how. Like, they have the creative energy of being a 20-something, and now they don't know how to do it anymore. It happens.
Woody Allen. All right, but anyway.
Attack of the Clones truly is the whatever works of the Star Wars franchise.
It's the anything else.
Yeah.
No, Phantom Menace is the anything else. Attack of the Clones is whatever works.
Okay.
I like this. The first time Woody Allen movies have been inaugalized.
Whatever. I have a question. Is this the first Star Wars movie that establishes that love is forbidden for a Jedi?
I think it has to be.
Because what the fuck is that all about? Like, he's not
allowed
allowed to bone? What, are they celibate?
That didn't surprise me because I always thought that Jedi were supposed to be like samurai or like, missionaries who don't, like, that's not part of it's part of the code that they don't.
What are they, like,
Yeah, what,
castrata or
that surprised
something? They lightsaber off their dicks?
Did that surprise you?
Yes.
Oh, see, that didn't surprise me at all because of all the like Far Eastern mysticism. I mean, I figured they were supposed to be like monks. That's the word I'm looking for. I figured they were supposed to be like warrior monks who that's just not part of their makeup. So that didn't faze me.
I don't know. I don't hear in the first Star Wars Obi-Wan saying like, Luke,
no, he doesn't.
Now remember, don't fuck Leia.
No.
Although maybe he just knew they were brother and sister.
That's right. But Ben, but Ben Kenobi doesn't have a wife or anything.
It's
I mean,
true.
why doesn't he have a wife?
And maybe Obi-Wan saw what happened the last time he cock-blocked his Padawan. Became the evil ruler of the galaxy. Maybe let Luke get his dick wet.
Yeah, I know that would have prevented a lot of mayhem.
And I have one last point.
Please.
If you're a Jedi and you're not sure whether another Jedi is trustworthy, as in this movie where there's some question as to what side Dooku is on, just have them pop their lightsaber.
And you'll know by the color?
Yeah. If that baby's red, he's evil.
Forget it. Yeah.
It's very simple.
No, it's Republican state red. Yep. Sorry, that came out wrong. Yeah, it's red. Evil. Yeah,
Red.
Bad stuff.
Bad guys have red.
The blue.
Good guys have blue and
good.
green. And black guys have purple. That's how it works.
The blue is good. Anyway, I did like Windu pulls out his saber in this movie, right?
Yep.
I dug the purple lightsaber. I thought that was good.
Apparently, Jackson requested it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Cool choice, Sam. Good
Yeah.
choice. That was very cool color because everybody's green or blue, and I dug the purple. I forgot about that, and I was like, oh, very nice.
It's definitely cool looking. I mean, anything that looks cool in this movie, you can just assume was not Lucas's idea.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually, that's a great point. You just casually said that was Sam Jackson's idea. It's just like, of course. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course it was, because that was awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right.
Okay. I mean, that's all I got.
Yeah, Anakin loses his arm. I forgot about that completely. So he's already...
And they get married.
They get married at the end. I was kind of... I kind of liked that little shot at the end. Yeah.
All right.
I know. I'm never going to watch it again, but because I forgot he got his arm cut off and it turns into so he's already beginning that robotic.
That is so fucking stupid, dude. When he like puts the ring on her with his little robot arm.
I did wonder something. I wondered like maybe the technology in the Star Wars universe had not advanced enough because if you recall, at The Empire Strikes Back, Luke gets a robotic hand, and it's basically like a human. There's skin over it. So, like, that's such a Lucas thing, too.
I think that's probably the intention, but it also makes no sense because all the technology is fucking better in the prequels because the movies were made later.
No, I know. That's why that's why it's funny to me. But because I just think it's just like that's Lucas just being like, look, I can show you a spindly gold little hand. But all right, yeah. I'm done. It's terrible.
1 star.
2.
Okay.
I have to go 2 because
who's your MVP?
I didn't even mention him really once during the movie, but he's the best actor in the movie. He gets to do some stuff. It's Ewan McGregor.
You know, you're right, and part of that is that
he didn't say it, but
we didn't talk maybe enough about Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is off on his own a lot of this movie,
right?
So like he's like, listen, I think Natalie Portman is better in this movie than she was in The Phantom Menace. but she's saddled with spending
Right,
all
that's
her time
right.
with Hayden Christensen.
That's right.
And so, like, Obi-Wan is just kind of alone for most of his movies. Like, his dialogue sequences are either with that, like, lady alien that looks like fucking HAL 9000.
Right.
Or, you know, sometimes Yoda. So, like, he gets to be a little better. And he's got a beard and...
I think he's having, and I can tell that Ewan McGregor is having fun. Like, I remember...
Because I think he's trying less. I think in the first movie, he was trying to do like an Alec Guinness impersonation or something.
That's probably true.
And I think
but-
between these movies, he was like, "Oh, these movies are terrible. I'll
well,
just have fun."
that could definitely be part of it. But I also just think I think personally, I remember reading this many, many years ago that he was very disappointed that he didn't have much to do in The Phantom Menace. So I think, I don't remember, it's a long time ago, but I'll never forget reading that somewhere. So I think, and he made it public, so I think that Lucas just purposely gave him more to do. And I think that McGregor is like, okay, now I have kind of a character to work with, and I'm having a little bit more fun.
Okay.
And I think he's good in it. I think the only time there's any remotely amusing dialogue, it's Obi-Wan. Not every time, but some of the time.
You'll be the
You
death
know?
of me.
That's Alec Guinness, but yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, Ewan McGregor is very good. He's my MVP.
Who's your LVP?
Oh, my LVP has got to be Hayden Christensen.
My Henry.
Yes.
My LVP is
Master.
is sand, because it's coarse and lumpy and dirty.
The elements of the universe you cannot
And
choose
my-
as LVP.
And my MVP is Padme's beautiful skin, because it's smooth and silky, and it makes my penis feel weird.
God damn it, Anakin, you gotta pick a real MVP and LVP, motherfucker.
Nah, LVP Hayden Christensen, of course. Okay.
And Ewan McGregor is your MVP.
Oh, I didn't say, but yeah, I guess so. I'll go with
has to
that.
be.
Yeah.
So we have the same MVP, LVP. Our star ratings are different, but you just hated it more than
It's
Phantom.
worse. It's worse than Phantom Menace.
And I always hated it worse than Phantom, and I don't anymore. But anyway,
Okay, what's your memories of seeing Revenge of the Sith?
Wait, I have a superhero count.
Oh, right. Okay, go
On
ahead.
Attack of the Clones, it's only 4. Christopher Lee. God. Of his 3,000 credits, I found 1. He was in Captain America, Death Too Soon, 1979.
Yeah, that's that one where he's wearing like a motorcycle helmet.
That's right. He played a character named Miguel, which I thought was kind of hilarious, because I can't imagine that wasn't racist. All right.
Whitewashing.
Right. Jango Fett, played by Tamura Morrison, as you said, was in Green Lantern, the live-action Ryan Reynolds, playing some fucking character named Abin Sur.
No, that's the Green Lantern that dies and gives Hal Jordan his ring.
Oh, look at you.
Thank you.
Wow.
I've read some Green Lantern comics.
I was just gonna say that's not remembering the movie really.
I did see that movie in theaters.
So did I. Oh, I didn't see it in theaters, but I would never remember that. I don't know the Green Lantern comics that well. Okay, but you can look forward to seeing him also in the upcoming Aquaman playing, that's right, another person's father. Thomas Curry.
Oh, all right.
I actually don't know if that's Aquaman's father. I assume Thomas Curry.
Probably. And, he's got similar coloring to Jason Momoa, so I guess it works.
Okay. Number 3 is Jack Thompson, who played Shmi's hubby in the wheelchair Klieg Lars.
Yeah.
He was in a movie I did not know existed. And I often don't find things like this in my superhero travel counts. superhero count travels. He was in a 2005 movie of Man-Thing?
Yep, Sci-Fi Channel original movie.
He played a character named Frederick Schmidt, so I guess it wasn't anybody that important. But yeah, Man-Thing. So you knew about it.
I watched it on TV at the time.
All right, of course you did. And then a very obvious one that I had forgotten about, the last one, is Rose Byrne, who is, of course, Moira McTaggart in 2 X-Men movies.
That's right. The great
One-
Rose Byrne, obviously wasted the same way Keira Knightley was in the last one.
Yeah, totally wasted in this. But it's funny because I made a note. She's in one great X-Men movie and one totally forgettable, not terrible X-Men movie.
First Class and Apocalypse?
That's correct.
Yeah. She's really good in First Class, actually.
She's great.
They use her really well.
Yeah, she's great.
All
right. That's it.
Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, of course a reference to the original Revenge of the Jedi, which was the original title of Return of the Jedi. So I saw this movie in theaters midnight again.
I saw it in theaters too, not midnight.
Mm-hmm. It was about a year after I graduated from high school, and I remember running into a lot of old high school acquaintances at the movie theater at midnight.
Interesting.
Because I saw it out here on Long Island.
That's an interesting. Yeah.
And I remember I went with former guest Nathaniel Safran and our friend Omar Mather, and at the front of the theater, these fucking nerds were having a lightsaber battle.
Oh my god!
And my friend Omar got up and ran full speed to the front of the theater and just tackled one of these kids.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a good memory. And we sat there and watched this movie at midnight, and we all loved it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
You want me to tell my brief?
Yeah, go ahead.
This movie was a different part of my life, which is an interesting thing. Within those 3 years of 2002, 2005, I graduated college. I moved to New York City. So this movie came out, and I had to refresh I didn't remember when it came out. It came out in May.
They all did. Every Star Wars movie came out in May until Force Awakens.
Okay. So I saw it in the Union Square, the big theater,
the 14th Street or 13th Street or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, it was a very different period of my life. I went with, obviously, just like I'll say it again though, to be fair, still with Lord of the Rings syndrome. Girl I was with at the time had not really ever seen a Star Wars movie, but she went with me willingly. And
can you tell me who it was on mic?
No, I don't want to say who it was. Why?
I'm just curious, personally.
I'll tell you off mic who it was. I don't.
When you do an impersonation of her, is there an accent involved? All right,
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's enough, right? That works.
That's
good information. Yeah. So it was like a new chapter in my life. So it was just like it was a big year, 2005 for that. So it was, anyway. Sorry to laboring that, but the point is, I went to see Star Wars and I absolutely was shocked at how much I liked it. As well. And so it was kind of a new part, a big new thing for me. But seeing Revenge of the Sith was very surprising at the time, and I remember still having the similar issues I had with the first 2 movies about the visual clutter and the CGI.
Oh yeah, big time.
I had that at the time. I'm not saying what I think now yet, but at the time I remember thinking that stuff too. But I remember thinking it didn't matter because of how much I loved the other aspects of the movie. So that was that.
Yeah, this was a surprising one. Because as much as I liked Phantom Menace when I first saw it and didn't like Attack of the Clones, by this point I was like almost 19 and a little wiser and understood that the prequels sucked. And so I probably went in with the lowest expectations of any of them for this one.
Yeah, I think I did too, and I think you're right. I think even though I'm 24 years older than you, I think that played a factor with me, because I think I was 20 when I saw Phantom Menace, and by the time this came out, I was not even 27. I guess I was
There
like
you
20,
go.
26 years old, so I was older, a little wiser. I mean, you're still as dumb as dumb as a bag of hammers, because you're in your 20s. You think you know everything, but you're older, wiser, and I was like you with this. I came in kind of thinking, no expectations. See what happens.
All right,
And
so
I do remember seeing it in the theater, and I did not have any crazy nerdy weirdos with costumes or anything, which was nice. I don't mind if people do that. I just don't want them being noisy. So
I'm okay with it at midnight screenings. You get what you get at a midnight screening.
Yeah, I saw Watchmen at a midnight screening.
Oh, God, why?
With another girlfriend, and nobody was in the theater except me, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Not surprised. The worst midnight experience I've ever had was X-Men 3.
Oh, that would definitely take
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't been to that many midnight screenings. I'm going to say for the record right now, right off the top of my head, Watchmen was the worst midnight experience, hands down.
I've been to a lot, but I haven't been to one in a while. Like,
nothing beats that.
I'm trying to remember the last one. It was probably a Marvel movie, but I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say Watchmen was the worst. And then you get out at 2:00 in the morning, and you're tired and you're angry, and it's just nothing worse. All right.
Yeah, the worst. Okay.
Okay.
Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, written and directed by George Lucas by himself. Released May 19th, 2005. A budget of $113 million. Box office of 848.8. So it got some of those people back into the theaters.
Yeah, it did better than
Yeah. Nominated for one Oscar for Best Makeup, it lost to The Chronicles of Narnia.
Weird.
Yeah. I have here the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2005.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
You want to guess, Sonny?
I'm going to... let me guess.
I'll say Revenge of the Sith is number one. Returning to number one.
Okay, okay, top 10 grossing movies 2005. All right, Batman Begins.
That's number 8.
Okay. I wonder if something like Munich was on there?
No.
I don't know. Then I only have one other guess. That's 40-Year-Old Virgin?
No. I thought it might be too, but it was like number 20 or something.
Those are my 3 top guesses, because I don't think I would like to guess Brokeback Mountain because of all the fanfare.
No, okay. Number 10. Number 10.
Go ahead.
A spy movie with a real life couple involved.
Ooh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's right.
I never saw that and never will.
I saw it. It was okay.
Really? Okay.
Doug Liman directed it. I'm a fan of his. So.
Oh, no. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me you saw it. I'm surprised that it's okay.
Oh, it is okay. Yeah, it's not bad.
I like Doug Liman.
Yeah. He puts together a good movie.
Yeah, he does.
Jumper. Okay, number 9. I like to move it.
Oh, is that one of them Pixar DreamWorks things?
Yep, Madagascar. Number 8, Batman Begins. Number 7, a remake of a beloved children's movie with an annoying actor doing a Michael Jackson impersonation the whole time.
Ooh, okay. I want to get this. Is it animated?
No.
Is it Chris Tucker?
No.
Oh. Doing a Michael Jackson impression? An impression of him singing?
An impression of him in his later years.
I don't have a fucking clue.
That's right. It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, wow.
By Tim Burton and the insufferable Johnny Depp.
Never saw it, ever.
Saw it in theaters. Liked it. But
really?
I actually own it on DVD, and I have never. I've only still seen it the one time in theaters.
all right. On today's show so far, that's the only thing you've said that has actually shocked me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah. Number 6. There was a lot of debate at the time over what was the best comedy of the year, The 40-Year-Old Virgin or this, and this made way more money but is way not as good a comedy.
I need an actor. Wait, let me get. This is a good time for Will Ferrell. Is it a Will Ferrell joint?
I believe he shows up in it.
Okay. Is it a Jack Black joint?
No.
Okay. Who directed it?
David Dobkin. I can't believe I know that. David Dobkin, the guy who brought you Clay Pigeons.
Oh, Vince Vaughn. Yeah, I don't know.
Wedding Crashers.
Oh, Jesus. That movie has like a few laughs, but that's just a disposable. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 5, Henry. 'Twas Beauty Killed the Beast.
That should have been very obvious, I guess, but it's not ringing a bell. 'Twas Beauty Killed the Beast.
It was my follow-up to my classic trilogy.
I'm sorry. Can I have that sentence again?
It's me. It's me. My follow-up to that classic trilogy that I just finished.
Oh, are you Peter Jackson, and are you speaking about King Kong?
That's right, I am.
Okay, you might want to work on that accent there, mate. It's more like, thank you. It's more like that, but no, then it turned into Cockney. That's okay. All right.
Number 4. It was a banner year for Steven Spielberg. He did put out Munich, but he put out another one with way more mainstream success.
You don't remember.
War of the Worlds.
Oh, okay. All right.
Number 3, not my favorite movie in this series, but my favorite book in this series.
Oh, some Harry Potter joint.
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
And number 2...
Is that the Cuarón directed one?
It was not. That's why it's not my favorite movie in the series. It's I don't remember who directed it.
It doesn't matter. I just asked because I saw the Cuarón one in theaters.
No, this one had Robert Pattinson in like his first film role, though.
Oh, he's great.
No,
all right. That's a joke. That was a joke, audience.
Hey, some people out there love themselves some fucking good time. I did not have a good time watching it.
I did not see Good Time, but he is great in an Australian movie called The Rover. Okay. Directed by the aforementioned Joel Edgerton.
Oh yeah, Joel Edgerton has his follow-up to The Gift coming out this year, and I was just reading about it, and it sounds fucking great.
I'm down. He's written like 3 or 4 movies, dude.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that guy now.
He's fucking great.
Not enough to get me to watch Bright, but whatever.
Me neither, but I've been a fan of his since Animal Kingdom, so it's like 7 years.
Sure.
Yeah, he's great. Anyway,
I've been a fan of his since he played Uncle Owen in Attack.
No, you haven't.
No, I know.
No, nobody has. I wish you could say that, right? Like, I was a fan of his.
I knew he was good.
Yeah.
I saw Attack of the Clones, and I was like, that guy's going to be a good writer someday.
He's going to make it. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right, number 2, it's a Jesus allegory with Qui-Gon Jinn.
A Liam Neeson Jesus allegory from 2005. I don't fucking know what that
Chronicles of Narnia.
Ugh.
The Chronicles of Narnia. And number 1, Revenge of the Sith. Okay, so what are your top 10 films?
Top 10. I'm excited to do this because I thought I was happy with my list, but you named a couple movies that absolutely should be on my list, so we'll see. Number 10, I have Cinderella Man.
That's a really good movie. Underrated. I think it's my favorite Russell Crowe performance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many times I watched that movie when we were roommates?
You were obsessed with it, which was very weird. It's not the kind of movie you should watch every fucking night like a weirdo. But
you get your bottle of wine, you start watching your movie, drinking a 40, whatever. It's
Sure.
perfect. I loved it. I love boxing movies, and I love great boxing movies, and it's one of the best boxing movies ever, and it really is underrated. It doesn't get talked about a lot.
No.
And one of Ron Howard did it, for God's sake.
I think it might be Ron Howard's best movie.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I couldn't remember how you felt about that movie.
Ron Howard directing the next Star Wars movie, which we'll talk about in May, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
What's your number 10?
My number 10 is Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
Yeah. That's not on my list. And, it's crossed out for something else, so it clearly was on my list. But whatever. Okay. My number 9 is Grizzly Man.
That's not on my list.
Yeah, it's a good year for movies.
Yeah, seriously, 2005.
Really,
all right.
Look, I don't have on my list. I realized I don't have Syriana on my list, and
I'm okay with that.
I'm not. I love that movie, and I don't. It's an honorable. I have HM on there. So, all right. What's your number 9?
Steven Spielberg's Munich.
Oh, look at that.
I went double Spielberg at 10
I like it. This movie that's next probably should be higher according to you, but I don't have it higher. The Squid and the Whale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should be higher.
But it's on there.
Yeah. My number 8 is George Clooney's Good Night and Good Luck.
Okay. My number 7 movie is...
Wait, what's your number? Oh, what? Your number 8 was Squid and the Whale. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Cinderella Man, then Grizzly Man, then Squid and the Whale.
Okay.
Then number 7 is Batman Begins.
Okay, that's not on my list. Love that movie, but I'm happy with the 10 I have here.
I get why it's not on your list. I had to... Yeah. Go ahead.
My number 7 is the Duplass brothers' best film, The Puffy Chair.
I still haven't seen that. Yeah. My number 6 movie by one of my favorite directors and one of his best movies, although he hasn't made too many bad movies at all.
I think we're going to have the same thing.
At all is A History of Violence.
Yep. That's my number 6.
That's funny. Yeah, David Cronenberg. Just what a director. We're never really going to get to talk about him, but yeah. Okay.
Fucking on the stairs. Okay, go ahead.
Number 5, Munich.
Good. Okay, my number 5 I'm due for a rewatch of it because it blew me away at the time. I rented it from Blockbuster, went back the next day and bought it. But the last time I tried to watch it was when we were living together, and I didn't get through it. But I don't know whether I was not in the mood or what. And so my number 5 is Miranda July's Me and You and Everyone We Know.
Oh, yeah, I watched that. I hated it.
Okay.
I hated it off with a passion. But hey, it's on your list. All right. Number 4 is The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
That's my number 4.
Okay. My number 3 is Good Night and Good Luck.
Yeah, great movie.
There aren't really any bad movies so far on either of our lists except that last one.
Henry, you know how I know you're gay?
What? How's that?
You know how I know you're gay? You watch Cinderella Man every day.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, you know how I know you're gay?
What?
Because you have a DVD of Me and You and Everyone I
Know. God, I still love The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I really want to watch it again. It's been years.
Yeah, it's been a little while for me too. Yeah. Okay, what's your number 3?
She was a faux show. My 3 was Good Night and Good Luck.
Okay, my number 3 is not going to be on your list, Henry. Match Point.
Fuck no. Although it's a well-made movie. It was better when it was Crimes and Misdemeanors, but it's a well-made movie.
Yeah.
My number 2 movie, Brokeback Mountain.
That's my number 2.
You know how I know you're gay? All right, my number 1 movie this is one you'll fucking hate.
Oh God, 2005. What's it gonna be?
Very hard because anything on my list, really, besides like maybe 1 or 2 of my picks, could be the number 1 movie, including Good Night and Good Luck, 40-Year-Old Virgin, or Brokeback Mountain. but this is a rewatched movie of mine that's because it made here. If I had gone on a first impression, there's no way. See if you can guess what it is. It's 2005. It's by one of the greatest. This will give it away, but I don't care. It's by one of the.
I know it. I think I got it.
Go ahead.
The New World.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Terrence Malick, interesting movie. Not very good.
Oh, okay. You don't hate it.
No, I don't hate that movie. I don't hate any Terrence Malick movie until. What was the one? The first one I really hated.
The Last Four? I don't know.
No, because I don't hate all of them. Really, there's
no,
only,
I don't either.
There's only one Terrence Malick movie that I watched and fucking hated. It was that Hollywood one. The one that took place in Hollywood.
Yeah, and see, for me, it was the last one, that Song to Song. I hated that.
I didn't hate that. It was just nothing. What was it? What was the one I hated? Knight of Cups.
Yeah. See, that was I got through that one, but it was tough.
I got through them all, but fuck, that movie sucks.
I didn't get songs. Anyway, okay, so New World.
Oh, and my number one is The Squid and the Whale.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie. What a year. 2000.
Noah Baumbach's best movie, and Noah Baumbach, to me, still has not made a bad movie.
I'm delinquent on a couple of his movies, but I don't think I've ever seen one of his movies that I haven't loved.
Nope, they're all good.
I believe Greenberg is my favorite.
There's a couple that I haven't loved, but even those are like not misfires. They're good.
Yeah, but
they're
you're
worth
a bigger
watching.
fan than me, so I'm more prone to just kind of seeing it and loving it, But if you're a bigger fan of his than I am, then you're going to be more critical.
True.
So
okay. Oh man, this is a long ass episode already. Star Wars Episode 3.
It's a bonus. Everyone's going to love it. It's fine. They don't care about length. Remember that I saw that tweet from that guy who said I could listen to you guys for 4 hours.
Not everyone feels that way.
No, not everyone does. But today we'll just pretend it's that guy that we're.
All right, so this, I lost the interview with George Lucas. Sorry, I can't find it.
It was edited for time.
Yeah. Hey, so the movie starts. It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. There's a scroll. It might be my favorite scroll in Star Wars history.
Why is that? Actually, that's a genuine question.
Because it just starts with one word and an exclamation point.
It's
just war.
Bum 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 bum. And then Chris Tucker flies in a space mask. What is it good for? Yep.
Yeah. Don't ever turn off a black man's radio, boy.
Oh.
Okay. So, starts out, there's a field of stars. You pan down.
Field of stars.
And it's a big war happening, and it's a lot of pew pew pew, but it's pretty baller because I
like that opening scene.
It's a franchise called Star Wars.
Yep.
And this is a Star Wars.
Look, this movie doesn't fuck around with an elongated introduction with boring exposition. I forgot that you just dive right the fuck into a
Star Wars.
Yeah, not really convincing looking one, but it's still the CGI still sucks.
You know what's weird though? There's one part.
What's weird that it doesn't look as good as any of the original movies.
Well, that's true.
Isn't that amazing? When you think about
CGI's.
It's Lucas CGI.
Yeah,
it's Lucas.
I'm not
CGI.
talking shit about CGI. It's badly used.
Yeah, but it's still the best. I got a Blu-ray copy of this. So it looked really good. I didn't see the other one on Blu-ray.
The worst looking part of this, weirdly though, is there's one part where R2-D2 sets a fire. He just he uses his flying thrusters to set a fire. I don't know. He's lighting some battle droids on fire or something.
Oh, is this the one where those insect-looking things are attacking Kenobi's starship?
Yeah, I think so.
They get confusing to me. I met them together. Okay,
but it's just so amazing to me how shitty this fire looks. George Lucas can render interstellar galactic war, but not a fire.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really have anything to say because I don't remember it. But
All right, let's talk about some new characters. And let's start. Well, first of all, we kill off Count Dooku real early.
And that's a great kill.
Yeah, love it.
Great kill. I got a lot of problems with the whoop-de-doo Laurel and Hardy a rescue attempt that has not much of the has none of the charm of Leia's rescue attempt. And do I have to say Star Wars: A New Hope?
No, it's
just
Star
say
Wars.
Star Wars. Thank you.
So,
but and there's a lot of bumbling and fumbling, but related to what you're saying, at the end of all of that, yes, right? He kills Count Dooku, so he's gone.
Christensen's still terrible, but
he's better. He's better.
He's not.
I think, yeah, he's terrible, but he's
given more interesting things to do.
Maybe that's why. Maybe there's, yeah.
So he decapitates Count Dooku with the urging of Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine. Yeah. And I'll say right here, this is the Star Wars movie that Ian McDiarmid has the most to do.
Oh, man, yes.
And he is great. And he's my MVP.
Awesome.
He's my MVP. With no deliberation whatsoever.
That's a great choice. I had a tough time with my MVP and my LVP, to be perfectly honest. The LVP could probably
do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary. He's scary. But you know what it is with him too is I don't know. He has got that. He's able to speak completely normally and then turn into the Emperor just with a couple of lines,
just with a look,
right? And it's not like Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne turning into Batman. You know what I mean?
It is garbage at the end when his face gets turned into a butt, but I prefer it when it's just done with the performance.
Well, of course, I always prefer that, but. You're right. You said that line. Do it. It's it's chilling because he's he's speaking normally, and then boy, yeah, it's like a horror character.
Yeah.
It is a lot. He is great. Yeah. So anyway, is that one of the after that starfight that rescue happens, right? And then we move on.
Right, we're rescuing Palpatine, who's been taken by. Is it General Grievous? It's funny that you mentioned Dex in the last movie, reminding you of Biff, because General Grievous is Griff. He's Griff from Back to the Future, except with another obnoxious fake Asian accent and perpetual cough.
Those, real quick, the stereotypical voices have somewhat diminished in the last two movies. It's nothing like in Phantom Menace, but they're still there. They're still around.
Oh, they're still totally there. And we introduced characters in Phantom Menace that we then need in these movies.
Right, exactly.
So the Asian hibachi chef Trade Federation guys, show up in an important scene in Revenge of the Sith.
No!
Oh, you build Death Star? Oh.
Me love you long time. Yeah, they're back. Yeah. There's a few of them, but not as many. But you're right. They brought him in the first one, and they had to come back. So,
but General Grievous is just, I am a battle droid, but I have a cape.
Well, that's a very good impression, and I'll tell you why. The accent of General Grievous, I was trying to place, and it wavered. It's not consistent at all. But the country that I got out of was French.
Interesting.
It's French, and you just did it, and it sounded like a French accent to me. You were like, Jacques Lefleur, oui, Obi-Wan, I will destroy you. Yeah. So And he coughs a lot. Inexplicably coughs a lot.
Yeah, why would a droid have a cough?
Well, I don't know what he is, because when he's killed, he has like a beating heart. So I think
he's
like
a battle droid. He's like king of all battle droids.
No, because then when you look at in his eyes, they're like look fleshy. Like he almost, it's like a Vader creation. He's like been put together.
Oh, that makes sense. We might be foreshadowing Vader.
I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. I shouldn't say the real fans. We're real fans, but you know what I mean. The fans will know for sure what he is. Yeah. I don't know, but
also General Grievous is his name, and that's another good way to tell if someone's evil. If their last name is Grievous, maybe they're evil.
Maybe Maul or Sidious or Grievous, or that could do.
Yeah, and if you're still not sure, just check the lightsaber.
Or Tyrannus, which was also...
Or maybe your fucking 6 lightsabers. Grievous, like, sprouts extra arms at one point. That's kind of baller, actually.
Yeah, I remember when I saw it, that was one of the characters I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. But when I saw it this time, I was like, I'm in. I don't care. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's bad. You're never going to get past... I'm never going to get past the bad CGI, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, let's continue with this story. So
okay.
Essentially, Padme tells Anakin she's pregnant, right? So that's a big part of this story.
And Anakin reacts like any man, which is like badly at first, but then he realizes he's acting badly, and so he turns it around.
It's true. Hayden Christensen's finest moment in all the movies is because it's a genuine man moment. It's like, that's great news. I mean, that's great news. What? Are you not? What?
You really want to raise a kid in this terrible world? I mean, yes, I'm going to be a daddy.
By the way, we should mention, I want to make this, and it'll come up later for sure when I actually become more effusive about my speaking of this movie. This movie is a PG-13. And let me tell you, brother,
it earns it.
Holy shit! I'm just going to say really quick. I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine before I rewatched this, who told me about, we were discussing this and just Star Wars in general, and we were talking about it, and he was like, and remember this and Sith and that? And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And he was like, it's a PG-13 movie. And I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I know what you're talking about. Then I watched it, and I was shocked. I was shocked at a couple of things in this movie. And it fucking earns that PG-13, and it's great.
Yeah, dude. It's not great. I don't want to call it a great movie.
It earns it's great that it earns its PG-13.
Got it.
Because it you know what I'm saying? It helps make the movie what it is.
I mean, it's a fucked up movie. Like, you're doing the prequels, so you know that in this movie, like, Anakin has to turn on everybody and become Darth Vader.
Yeah,
and Luke and Leia have to be born and separated, and Padme has to die.
But you can do all of that and still do a PG movie. You know that you can. Like, I gotta give credit to Lucas.
No, it's true. You
could do all of it.
Episode 4 is called A New Hope, and if you're gonna watch these 1 to 6, it kind of works, I guess, because 3, the end of this movie, is basically as hopeless as it gets.
It is fucking dark.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So.
Okay. So Anakin is hired to be like Palpatine's bodyguard. And people are nervous about that because they're starting to suspect that Palpatine might be like a shitty dude.
So they want him to spy on Palpatine, but Palpatine wants him to spy on the Jedi.
Right. Yeah. So he starts to grow closer to Palpatine. Palpatine goes for a nice night out at the theater watching some globules float around. Yeah. And that's what you do.
That's an opera by John Adams.
What?
nothing.
Oh, I get it. Silence.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
John Cage or John Adams.
John Cage, right? What was that? 2533 or something?
Right. Well, John Cage is the one where you just turn on a radio and listen to static for fucking 38 minutes or something. But no, I meant John Adams because it just repeats like over and over and over and over the same note for 2 hours.
Did somebody say John Adams? I'm John Adams.
Get back in your powdered wig, you piece of shit.
I'm such a fat piece of shit. All right. All right, so they watch the globules float around, and
I thought it was quite beautiful, actually. I like that.
I love that sequence.
I would turn that on like to help me fall asleep. I
just say, this whole story that Palpatine tells him, the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise,
it's awesome.
It's not badly written.
Dude, this movie is not badly written.
Dude, some parts are, but.
Yes, and there's too much visual clutter.
But this movie's good.
I think this movie's actually great.
Okay.
Yeah. I liked it more than I did originally, but it's got flaws, no doubt. But I think this is, very good to great, but I would say great. I guess, it's a matter of, I don't want to, what's the fucking word I'm looking for?
Can I poke some holes in your theory?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What I was going to say was Empire Strikes Back is great. It's perfect besides the ghost blowjob. But this is great in like other ways. But I haven't even gotten to why I think it's great. So I will have to defend myself too. But please poke holes in my I didn't have a theory, but go ahead.
Well, your theory that it's great.
Yeah, sure.
What about when Obi-Wan is riding around on that little dinosaur? Chasing after General Grievous, who's riding around on like a space-powered unicycle or whatever that is.
I actually had that sound of that animal on my phone, so that was an actual recording from the movie. If you want to hear it again, I just have to hit the button.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's on a triple loop, so it plays 3 times and then it's done.
Very good.
And anyway, yeah, that wasn't that great.
How about when you see baby Chewbacca? Because we need more Star Wars babies.
I don't even remember that.
You do. You see little Chewie.
No, don't remember that.
Yeah. I do like the shot though, because in part of this movie they hide out on Kashyyyk, which is the fucking Wookiee planet that we see in the Star Wars Holiday Special, and it actually kind of looks the same in this movie.
Yeah.
And I like that shot with all the Wookiees like ready for war.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
But then later on, you see Baby Chewie.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any more holes you're gonna poke? Because that's fine. I want to hear more. There's other, because I'm forgetting some problems that I have with it too. I think R2D2 is too much of like a Wall-E character in this movie. Movie I love, by the way, but like too mobile. I don't know. He's too flying around and all that shit. That's not my R2D2.
What about no?
Yeah, that is a tough one for me. That's a tough one. You know what, dude? I'm gonna make a
fucking Vader pops off of that thing like he's Frankenstein's monster.
Wait a second. Let me just say something for the record here. And this is true because this is true. That's just so easy to make fun of. So it's like
so I'll go with a different part of that. It's fucking weird to hear James Earl Jones as Hayden Christensen delivering lines about prequel characters, going like, "Is Padme okay?"
No, I disagree with that. You mean it was jarring to hear like Darth Vader say a sentence, like a question that,
Jar Jar.
like in general?
Is Padme all right? How
Yeah,
are my children?
He didn't say that. Yeah.
Is Jar Jar okay?
He wanted to know that. He did ask that. I think the no question is the no scream is very easy to make fun of, and
You mean because it's terrible?
all right. So can I make my points?
Yeah.
All right, because I think you'll agree with some of them. I mean, otherwise, I don't know why you like the
I'll
movie.
probably agree with a lot. I'm between a 3 and a 4 on this movie. I'll say that right now. I haven't made a final decision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I made like a definite concrete star rating for this.
It's 4.
So I didn't say anything yet. You don't know if
I know you.
You don't know if I'm at 5. I could be at a high 3. All right. Here's the thing that got me with this movie. All right. The whole last, I guess it's a long movie, of course. The whole what is it? Hour.
It's way too long. It's way too long.
I know.
Hour 25 or something.
I didn't mind it too much. If anything, there's a little middle section could have been shortened. But look, man. All right. From the time that Anakin decides to be allies with the Emperor now, okay? Mace Windu he disfigures the Emperor, okay? I don't remember even really thinking that was that cool. It is. He fucking kills Mace Windu. He pledges allegiance to the Emperor, okay?
He kills all those babies.
He kills all these kids. I mean, I didn't remember that at all.
The younglings.
Right, because you know what? I thought of that, right? Do you think they just did that because they didn't want to say that
Kids. It's possible.
Right, of course, that's why they said that. That is horrific, but it's also would be what he would do. And from that point on, and then when he goes and he kills all the Jedi, and then everything from the lava planet. I mean, that sword fight, even though there's still some annoying CGI, I actually think visually that's one of the entire franchise's greatest creations, that lava planet. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Well, that was always a thing. Like it was known in Star Wars lore that he, became disfigured on Geonosis, which was a volcano planet.
Okay, well, I didn't know that because I don't know that deep into the lore, and so, but I love the execution of it. The execution of it when they're fighting, and I mean, I was emotional. I didn't expect to be that emotional. Like, I mean, I really felt like the pain between Kenobi and him, and just Kenobi, like Ewan McGregor, I think is really, really good. Christensen's pretty one note, but it doesn't really matter because I'm thinking more about Darth Vader, the mythic character of Vader at that point. And
where is Padme?
Yeah, all right. That's fine. I mean, you can interrupt my, where is Padme? So, when they have that sword fight, and then he jumps, and he fucking severs his arm and his legs, and then he catches on fire, man. I mean, that is just fucking crazy, and it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, do you not agree with that?
No, it's awesome. That's all awesome.
That transformation into Darth Vader, I just think is phenomenal. I mean, it was so powerful. I mean, it blew me away, and I loved it. I loved that so much. And then, I
don't like sand.
Yeah, right. Well, he doesn't like lava either.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I had also I had sort of forgotten. I remembered that, but I had forgot. I liked the dialogue aside. I liked how he's like picked up by the Emperor on the lava planet and brought and like a fucking torso and just assembled Did you think that was cool?
Yeah, man, I thought all that shit was cool, man. Everything
putting
that
the
was
mask on his face.
Yes, that's a great sequence. Everything that's setting up the original trilogy is really cool. I like the fucking babies being born sequence. Even though it happens, Padme's death is too glossed over. They should have given Natalie Portman more to work with. She dies of a broken heart. Like, who gives a shit? You know, I have a real problem with Padme in Revenge of the Sith because she's sort of like, I mean, we meet her and she's like Queen of Naboo, and then she's a senator in Attack of the Clones, and in this movie she's kind of just like Anakin's lady, that sucks. But
really quick. I forgot to say in the clones, we didn't mention that Senator Amidala gives up her senatorship to Jar Jar Binks, and refers to him as
Senator Binks,
Representative Binks. So he has already been demoted in title from senator to the lower house of Congress, Representative Binks. Anyway, continue. So yes, Padme is just like Anakin's woman. She's just like a person.
It's a problem. But I like what they do with Luke and Leia being born.
The separation and explaining where they go.
I really like Jimmy Smits in this movie.
Yeah, he's not bad.
As Bail Organa. So he takes Leia. He and his wife have always wanted a daughter, I guess. Right. And then they bring Luke over to Tatooine, to Joel Edgerton.
Yep.
And
see, the Jimmy Smits thing was fine to me now. Bothered me back then because I found it to be another one of those things where I was like, Jimmy Smits, what the fuck is he doing in a... You know what I mean? But now,
I love Jimmy Smits.
Now I doesn't matter if you love him or not. I had that problem I mentioned last week where I didn't like known people showing up in these movies. But, you know, I was over it now and I didn't care. So I was like, Jimmy Smits is great. Didn't matter.
Yeah, Matt Santos.
But so, what did you think? I want to ask you real quick. I know we're running a little bit long.
Yeah.
Longer than any usual late episode. But what did you think of the violence of particularly Vader's death and sort of reconstruction? And
Loved it.
I mean, that's rated R shit there.
Yeah, give me more blood.
There's no doubt that that's rated R shit.
I wish we could have seen those kids getting dismantled.
I don't know. I didn't need that, but that was very frightening anyway. I mean, when he walks in there and those poor kids.
He just lightsabers them to death.
Oh, God. But I mean, I wanted your opinion on that because that was one of the things that really stuck in my mind, and it's still something I'm thinking about, which is just how he kills him. And another thought I had, which is serious but also very jokey, is that after the way Obi-Wan kills Vader, I'm thinking up to New Hope when Darth Vader says, "We meet again." You know, Obi-Wan, right? To Alec Guinness, and I had the thought, I was like, no fucking wonder Vader hates Ben Kenobi. I mean, he must want to fucking. I mean, you know what? He should have added a line in A New Hope since he added everything else and fucked it all up. He should have added, like, some lines about, you turned me into a quadriplegic. I mean, you burn me alive with lava. And he kills Ben, and Ben just kind of falls into nothingness.
You'd think they'd talk about more stuff that happened in these movies.
There's no anger. I mean, it's just kind of like, we meet again, Obi-Wan. Like, oh, I haven't seen you for a while. It's been a while.
I haven't seen you since you murdered all those children.
Yeah, on both sides, right. Like, they both are just like, oh, yeah. Did you like the shot at the very end of Vader walking up with the Emperor and looking at the Death Star or not?
Yeah, that was fine.
Did you? I remember a lot of people had a problem with, wasn't it? I believe Hayden Christensen insisted on wearing the suit, and there were some people that thought
he looked little.
Yeah,
it's a little weird looking, but I took it as like he's just now like getting the suit, so maybe he doesn't have the look.
He hasn't worked out yet.
Yeah, he needs to work. He needs to go to physical therapy and practice on the fucking medicine ball. and he'll
and
get
he
there.
isn't a full-fledged dark side of the.
Maybe that's what he's doing in the man cave.
Pilates,
Yeah,
yoga, and Pilates. He's strengthening his
Taibo.
Yeah, he has his torso since he has no actual human limbs.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right.
All right.
I'm good. I got it out of my system. I thought you would be more effusive, but
I'm happy you're effusive. I like this movie a lot. I'll go with a 4.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, duh.
Of course, you know what I am. You know me. No, it's a 4-star movie because there's problems with it, but it's still. I think it's just really good. I will rewind. I will buy this movie.
I do think this is a better movie than Return of the Jedi.
We'll have that conversation
when we do the rankings.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And I need your help with MVP. I wrote down probably a totally unacceptable one, which was the cast.
Oy. That is not acceptable in the slightest.
Acceptable. All right,
no, it's Ian McDiarmid.
I was going to give it to George Lucas for coming back so strong after shitting two of these out.
You like me. You really like me.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with Lucas. Because he did it. He did as good as he's going to get. So it's George Lucas. Ian McDiarmid would be the cast member I would give it to, but it's going to be Lucas. LVP, I want to give it to Hayden Christensen, but I think he's great at the end when he's dying in lava, yelling, "I hate you." Of course,
that is good. I hate you.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that line, and I was like, "Ooh, I hate you." That was really well delivered, Hayden. It took you 4.5 hours to deliver a good line.
I'll still go with him.
All right, I will too. That's fine. That's fine. No, he's the LVP, but I like him in that. He's a good. He dies well.
Yeah.
He doesn't live well. He dies well.
Okay.
I have no superhero count.
What about Matt Santos?
Who's that?
The character Jimmy Smith plays on The West Wing. He truly is a superpower with his idealism.
Oh, and real quick, Yoda's fight with the Emperor, I remember not liking very much when I saw it.
I still don't.
Yeah, it's just goofy looking.
Yeah.
The Emperor looks cool. Yoda is the fakest looking character.
I don't even think the Emperor looks cool. I don't like what they do to the Emperor in this movie. Is it
too much?
Yeah, you could fucking poop out of that forehead. It sucks.
Too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can watch the scene, but it's not that. Yeah, it's a strange scene. It's not that. Yoda just looks too fucking fake for me. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, it's stupid. Okay.
All right.
No superheroes. That's crazy to me.